Hey, Speedwinghere here. So in this video, I'm going to go over what I think we might see in an FE4 remake. So FE4 remake has been teased, hinted at, tickled by our uncles at Nintendo for quite a while now. And I think if we're going to see anything about it, if it does exist, it's going to be very soon. So what I want to do is make a bingo card right here of what I think they're going to change in FE4. So get it out of the way before any of the trailers or anything comes out. And let's see how many of them I get right. Now, this is relying on it not being a remaster, but a remake. So if it's a remaster, they'll keep it pretty much the same. But if it's a remake, I think they're going to make a lot of changes. So let's get into it, shall we? Okay, let's start strong, shall we? Avatar. Oh my goodness. This is probably one of the worst things they could do, but I sadly think it's also one of the most likely. People love an Avatar character. The characters always come top of popularity polls. I think it's incredibly likely that we'll get an Avatar in some fashion. I mean, we could probably hope that they're just going to take a kind of Mark-like role where they're just there, you know, they're just joining along with the crew, but not actually a playable unit, but we'll see. I sadly think this one is very much on the cards. We have a precedent for it with New Mystery, where they added Chris. Now, obviously, in FE4, there is a very big moment that would be weird to have an Avatar in, but they could very easily retreat or just happen to not be there or something and then carry on. I think, unfortunately, this one probably going to happen. That's why I put it as the centerpiece. Okay, my second prediction is smaller maps or chopped up maps. The maps in FE4 are very large. However, that is kind of part of the appeal. FE4's mechanic of large maps with multiple objectives for you to move around and choose which ones to take first and with who is pretty core to the game. However, sadly, I can see them chopping them up into smaller sections. This would enable foot units to be a little bit better, which is a common complaint people have, and it would pad out the game a bit. If you look at Engage has like what, 40 to 50 maps in it. FE4 remake will have way less than that unless they start chopping them up. So I think this is something that could potentially happen. We'll see. No one's gonna like this. Like, no one that's an FE4 fan is gonna like this if they do implement it though, sadly. Okay, my next prediction is new original characters. So Echoes, probably the game that everyone says, oh, it's such a faithful remake, actually had 5 brand new characters in it, Faye being one of them. And I think that it's probably reasonable that they might add a few characters to FE4. I haven't got a whole lot to say about this one, really, just that I think it's likely. Art style, oh my goodness. This could make or break the game. If we get a reboot camp style for FE4 or something like the Diamond and Pearl Pokemon Chibi remakes, it could be disastrous. FE4 has quite a serious tone to it, and if they decide to go all anime and cutesy, chibi, or whatever, it's going to be a complete mess, and I think it's sadly quite likely. The problem with doing a remake of a pixel game is how are you meant to transition something with just a few pixels into a new style like 3D, high in-depth? There is sadly going to be a lot of changes, because when you look at a pixel art, the beauty of it is part of the character is built inside your own mind. And I think there's going to be a lot of changes to characters and how things look that people are not going to like. But hopefully the overall art style as a whole will be nice. If they go something similar to Echoes, I think that'd be pretty solid. Time Wheel. I think this one's pretty much guaranteed. All the new titles have it, and I think it's not really going to be a problem. FE4 already has a quick save feature in it, so Time Wheel's just basically the same thing, but you have even more accuracy because you can use it immediately after an action. The game's already been balanced, so there's no fear of them balancing the game around it unless they make massive changes to the game balance. So yeah, I think Time will be fine, and I think it's also incredibly likely, if not practically confirmed, to be in the game if they remake it. Right, foot unit buffs. I think this one would actually be quite good in a way, but it depends how they approach it. All they really have to do is add rescue or something like that to FE4, and foot units would be a lot better. But I could see them going down the route of either giving foot units more movement, better stats or something. I don't know, but I think we're going to see some kind of change to foot units in some form. Something to give them a little more oomph, so it's not quite just horse emblem. Ishtar. I think Ishtar is going to have massive changes. I wouldn't even be surprised if they make her playable. Ishtar is incredibly popular in Heroes. She has tons of ults, and they've even retconned some of her lore in Heroes to make her like a good guy. I mean, I think this is so likely. They'll either have her retreat instead of die, or they'll have you straight up recruit her into your army. I would be completely shocked if they make no changes to Ishtar at all, even if it's just a couple of lines of dialogue to make it maybe ambiguous or something, but she is so popular. There will be people that get FE4 Remake if it happens, purely off the back of they like Ishtar in Heroes. There's something's going to happen with her, calling it now. Skirmishes. Not got too much to say on this one. I just think they're likely to add skirmishes. It seems to be in pretty much all the games now. It's just what they do. It's a way for people to grind up if they want to. You know, people that might be struggling a little bit with the game, they can get some extra experience on their units. I think probably likely, like, it's going to happen if they're making massive changes. And last but not least, probably the worst one of them all. Changed story. Oh my goodness. So the games often get butchered now by localization. Awakening, Fates, Engage. The Engage has been so ripped to pieces by localizers and changed in so many ways. What hope does FE4 have? FE4 covers some very adult themes, which I could see the localizers just going, no, 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 no. I mean, slavery, incest, all these death, like all these things that happen in FE4, I think are going to be ripped apart. And if they start ripping that apart, the story's going to fall apart very fast. So they're going to have to replace it with something else. This would be the complete worst one. FE4 is held up on its story. That is its kind of whole selling point, really. So if they change the story, people are going to be very, very, very upset. And I think it's so incredibly likely that it's practically a guarantee. I think even in a faithful remaster, they will change certain story aspects. Or it may not be changed in the Japanese, but it will be changed for us. Our lovely localizers will make sure that our feelings aren't hurt by any offensive terms that might occur. So anyway, there you have it. There's my predictions. I would hopefully, personally, I'd rather see none of these and just see a straight up remaster, or even better, I think just a translation. Just make a translation of FE4, make it available, and put more focus on making a new title instead. The game's still there. If you want to experience FE4, you can, today. You can do it. You know, you don't need a remake in order to experience it, but that's my opinion anyway. So let me know down below, do you think any of these are likely, and if so, which ones? And do you think an FE4 remake is even happening at all? Because, you know, it's just rumoured. Anyway, until next time, I'll catch you later.